Hello everyone, Mitch the Preacher here, preaching the gospel of gaming. Welcome back to another One Lonely Outpost video. The purpose of this video, it's going to be much shorter, much more concise than my 1 hour plus gameplay video from this morning. This one is going to be more geared toward getting off to the best start possible. Alpha 0.2 does not at this time have a save function. So since we are going to be kind of doing the same thing over and over again, we want to make sure that those first couple of days get us the most amount of money or space bucks possible in order to experience all that 0.2 has to offer. So let's jump into it, and here we go. All right, so you do start with 1,000 space bucks, first to spring, first year. So what we're going to do is just a couple quick notes. So farming 101. Using the Q key, your Omni tool will till the ground, but it's important to note that it did just pull one of my fertilizers off, so you do have to have fertilizer either in your toolbar or in your inventory in order to actually farm. So if you're noticing that your Omni tool isn't doing anything in terms of tilling the soil, it's probably because you're out of fertilizer, something that I learned in yesterday's gameplay. So we're going to just really quickly here get our farm going. I have yet figured out how to till through this rock, this pebble on the ground. Quickly grab some items here that are in the way. So using the Omni tool for tilling and watering doesn't seem to use up that much energy. It looks like the craters also can't be farmed. So we are out of fertilizer, so what you want to do is go back to your ship, go to your computer, access Deliverzon. I love the little logo there. And you want to purchase a bunch more fertilizer. I'd recommend picking up probably about 50, as it is only $1 a piece. We are also going to pick up the crops that I've determined to be the most lucrative. So that would be red pepper. So we're going to buy 10 red pepper seeds. And we're going to pick up... So a big thank you to Ash Attack. She's a member of the community, and she's been doing a lot of research for me in terms of harvest times and selling prices and things like that. So we also want to be purchasing garlic. So buy up 10 of that. So it's important to note that when you order something from Deliverzon, you're going to have to get used to saying that, it will not arrive until tomorrow, and when it does, it will be in this delivery box here. So I have a very oddly shaped farm at the moment. But that's okay. What we're going to do is just proceed to water. We're going to prioritize planting our potato. Perfect. So with the potato in your hotbar selected, you're going to hit spacebar. Get planting. We'll also throw our carrots down. And that's all that we had fertilizer for, so we will have to wait for fertilizer in order to plant squash seeds. So if you're ever curious as to what something is, either in your hotbar or in your inventory, if you're in the inventory screen by hitting escape, you can click on that item. It will give you the name of that item as well as a brief description. So a packet of squash seeds. I also have copper, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and amberite. We still have over half our energy bar. So what we want to do is we want to make some money. So what I recommend doing is heading to the south until you find some very, very large crystal-like outcroppings. These guys right here. We're going to mine as many as we can while we still have energy. Sometimes they drop 1, sometimes they drop 2. So you'll see that mining does use up quite a bit more energy. The energy bar is draining very quickly here. Okay, so I don't want to push it, so I'm going to do one more. If you do run out of energy, without warning, you will be sent back to your ship exhausted. Movement itself does not burn up energy, so that's something to keep in mind. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our little sell booth. And we're going to sell all 12 of those. Just so we know, these are called blue crystal shards, even though they look much closer to pink to me, but that's okay. I do like the fact that the sales bin allows you to re-access it and pull back from it multiple, whereas another game in the farming simulator genre is basically only the last item that you deposited can be withdrawn. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our bed. Now keep in mind, if you press E to interact with your bed, there will be no warning. You will instantly be put to sleep and wake up the next morning. So we get a nice little chunk of 360 bucks, almost makes up for all the money that we just spent for a very, very short period of time in terms of work. The blue crystal shards are worth 30 space bucks a piece. So that's a pretty good return, in my opinion. If you ever have any spare energy before you go to bed, just go and grab a few of those large outcroppings and throw that into the sale bin. So we now go to our delivery. We have received our seeds and, more importantly, more fertilizer. So I'm going to clean up this farm. If you do notice that your energy bar hasn't reset for the day, that is a bug that has been noted already. The first time you use your Omni tool on the new day, your energy bar will then show up as full again, so not to worry there. Plant your crops, get them watered. We found that garlic and red peppers are some of the most profitable crops. So we've got 80% of our energy left, so what we're going to do is continue to go down south, grab a few more of those red shards, get those sold. The goal here is to get 1,500 space bucks so that we can purchase our first furnace. From what I gather, it is impossible to craft your first furnace because it requires ingots or smelted... Oh, and I accidentally burned a fertilizer there. It requires ingots of both copper and steel, steel being made from iron ore. And you can't smelt without the furnace in the first place. I have yet to be able to confirm whether these red shards respawn after a few days. I will consult my sources and report back. As there is no save function to the game, the kind of traditional NES route is the only one that you can take, which is to leave it on indefinitely. My lead contact, Ash Attack, is past day 21 by doing just that. I believe she has actually experienced summer. I'm just waiting for her to report back on what the seasonal changes are for that. So once again, head to your cell, drop your red shards. That'll get us a nice little influx of money. Our crops are all done. You never really want to go to bed without burning up at least into the red. So while we're at it, we will actually mine a little bit more amberite. Maybe some copper as well while we're at it. Might be able to get one more. Oh, that was extremely close, but that should be fine. Flashlight indicates nighttime. Before I hit the hay, I usually like to just do a quick little check to see if there's anything that I should be ordering for delivery the next day. Doesn't look like it. We'll jump into bed. Another 450 gold, so we're very close. So if I wasn't purchasing the seeds to plant further, I would actually have enough to purchase a furnace at this point. So by day 3, you could have a furnace, if not day 4. So what we'll do is, since we have the fertilizer, let's go ahead and expand our farm. Because those seeds sitting in your inventory are really just a loss of income if they're not in fact planted. And like I said, the energy used to till and watering in particular, is quite low. So it's something absolutely worth doing. So we're not really racing against the clock. We're almost always racing against energy. From my findings in yesterday's gameplay video, the game won't actually send you back to your ship until 5 a.m. the next day. So I don't think that you'll ever really be racing against that. It's always going to be an energy balance, of which I'm sure that there will be certain features implemented eventually to recover some of that energy. So we'll get our red peppers thrown down. So the nice thing about the red peppers is that they are continuously producing. Toss our squash down as well. So it looks like I've got maybe 10 more spots for seeds. So I'm going to spend a couple more dollars at Delivers On and grab a few more. I think I am going to try and commit almost entirely to red pepper seeds because they are only a single initial investment. So we've got quite a bit of energy left. Oh, that is interesting. The visual cue of these crops being watered disappeared. Just to be safe, I'm gonna water them again. Actually, as a little live experiment, I'm not gonna water one of the potatoes a second time. And if it springs at the same time as if it becomes harvestable at the same time as all the other potatoes, then I know that that is just a visual thing, not an actual functional thing. A visual bug, not a functional bug, I guess I should call it. So I'll leave that first potato there unwatered. There we go, no harm in that. So like I said, never want to go to bed with a ton of energy. Be harvesting something, whatever it might be. Let's grab this copper and this hex shard here. Oh, and I burned another fertilizer by accident. I think that's iron, which will be handy later. And this is gold, which we're also going to talk about in a moment when we can afford a furnace, because that is the first thing we're going to be smelting. Because we found that gold is some of the fastest to smelt into ingots and returns 100 gold per ingot. Or sorry, 100 space bucks, I should say. So once again, this last potato was not watered. Let's see if it matters. And we're sleeping. No income, that's fine, because... So carrots are ready. So that means carrots required 4 days. 4 days to retrieve your carrots. They are multiple harvests, single harvest, multiple crop production. So I got somewhere between 1 and 3 for each of those carrots. We're going to sell those, which is going to allow us to purchase our furnace tomorrow. So at this time, it does appear as though we have unlimited water in our Omni tool. I'm sure that that will be something that they change. That your Omni tool will need to be recharged in some way, I'm sure. Perfect, so that's all ready to go. What we're going to do at this point is go and farm some more gold so that we're ready to smelt it when the furnace has been purchased and placed. So we're also going to be on the lookout for copper and iron, because these are in our crafting menu. We'll see that these are the things we need for our sprinklers, our pipes, and our pumps, is gold, copper, and iron, which turns into steel. Also going to grab this and this, just to show that this is Trinity. So Trinity is what we're going to be using. I'm not sure if that's Trinity or Trinity, that we're going to also be using to craft the pump. So you just need a single one, which is easy. It does need to be smelted. Fairly straightforward there. And then Melorium is this stuff right here. We don't need a ton of it, but if we do want to construct a second furnace, we do have the ability to with this stuff. Based on its description, I do believe its intention, seeing as it's useful for generating heat, is probably going to be that the Melorium is actually required to smelt. That's similar to coal in other farming games. You use coal in combination with iron ore to make iron. In this game, you would use Melorium in combination with an ore to make its respective ingot. That is just a thought. That is not necessarily the case, but a prediction, I guess you could say. So we have a little bit of energy left. We're going to head down south and see if there's any more of those larger shards that we can mine for the sole purpose of selling, just to add to our carrot income, to make sure that we have enough money. Here we go. To afford that furnace. I have yet determined what its use is in the game, except to mine it and immediately sell it for a quick buck. Or 30 space bucks, as it were. So, between the carrots and those shards, I think we're going to be looking good. Head to bed. So those carrots alone gave us the ability to afford. We're actually going to, what we'll do here is we're going to purchase 2 furnaces that are going to arrive tomorrow. Yes, that does leave me pretty light on money, but I think that I'm going to have some more crops to harvest today, which is going to put us in good shape. Fun fact, although gold costs $50 to purchase the ore, putting it in the furnace is going to double its value to 100 for the ingot. So that might actually be a neat little money-making mid-game thing, mid-game in terms of this playtest. So we will have our furnace by day 6. I do believe it is possible to have the furnace maybe even as early as day 3. So we see that the potatoes, ooh, this is interesting. You'll notice that all the potatoes except the one that glitched out that we didn't water is ready for pickup. So yes, like I said, that wasn't just a visual bug when we came out of our ship midday. It was in fact a functional bug. This potato did not get watered that day, ultimately, and is not ready for harvesting today. Whereas the rest of them are. That's okay. Gonna harvest the rest. Water the rest. Throw the potatoes in our sell bin. And wake up to 2 furnaces tomorrow and a whole whack of money. So to confirm, potatoes, when watered every day, will be ready by the 5th day. So 1 day behind carrots. This potato should be finished tomorrow. Now I know that I'm going to have a ton of money from the potato sales, right? Which we're going to actually toss in this sell bin before we forget. So I am actually going to spend all the money that I have left on some more seeds to be delivered tomorrow to keep the farm up and going. So once again, I do believe that chili peppers are the best investment, as they only require the one initial investment, and then you just have to stay on top of watering them. So we're good there. Still have basically our entire energy bar. So at this point, we're going to go on walkabout looking for more copper, more iron, and more gold, as that's what we're going to be smelting in our 2 furnaces. Oh, here's a absolute iron farm. If you get used to your audio cues, you should be able to avoid wasting fertilizer that way. I would almost recommend not having fertilizer on you, but instead leaving it in your space inventory, your spaceship inventory, so that you're not accidentally burning fertilizer. I know it is only $1 a piece, but there at this time isn't a way to reverse the process of tilling soil. So aesthetically, if you're like me and it just bothers you, and you don't want to be wasteful, then that would be my recommendation. Okay, that's a little bit more here. Okay, that's going to be the last one I think that we can manage. Head back to our ship. We should wake up to 2 furnaces and a ton of space bucks from the potato crop. So yeah, nice little $3,300 space buck return. We do have email, which we can access. This will be introducing the electrical engineer Jim Bob. But more importantly to us, so yes, that potato is now finished. It appears as though our garlic is as well. So garlic is high return, but only single harvest, and only produces a single crop. So not nearly as efficient as, say, something like the red chili pepper. So we're going to take our furnaces. Clean this up just a little bit here so that we only have our ingots. We're going to go to our cell. We're going to sell our garlic and our single potato. We're also going to plant more chili peppers. We'll do a quick water. Actually, what we'll do in terms of efficiency is we're going to place, so having it selected on your hotbar, hit spacebar to drop your furnaces. And we're going to get working on gold. So with gold selected on your hotbar, you're going to go up to the furnace and you're going to press E to interact with it. It will have this lit status. And when it's finished, it will go dark again, and you will interact with it again to retrieve your appropriate ingot. So you see how incredibly quick that gold is to smelt compared to an iron or a copper. So it really is a fantastic money-making method. So while I'm watering here, I'm just bouncing back up to my furnaces, grabbing that gold. And at least at the moment, I will be just selling it for the profit. So we're ready again. So you'll see it has 3 states. Closed but not lit is going to be ready for ingot pickup. Open, not lit, is ready for drop off, and the lit status is kind of in progress. In our crafting menu, one gold bar is necessary for the pump, which is going to provide water to the pipes, which is going to provide water to the sprinklers. So you don't want to be selling all of your gold bars. I have yet to confirm whether a pump is necessary for each sprinkler, or if one pump can feed multiple pipes which feed multiple sprinklers. Stay tuned for that video in the future. I recommend hitting delivers on before you head to bed, as it does not use up any energy actually selecting things. So as before, we're going to go full ham on red pepper seeds. I'm also going to pick up one more furnace as we want to really ramp up our smelting in order to get our space bucks just zooming. Once again, do not enter your ship after watering your crops midday, as you will lose all of that progress. Okay, so that is confirmed to be a bug that I can 100% reproduce now. So we now have 800 space bucks in ingots that we're going to sell. Along with our garlic and potatoes, we should be raking it in tomorrow. I'm not going to go back into my ship until I'm out of energy, so let's do a bunch of Trinity mining. Grab this amberite while we're at it. Grab the quartz because it's here. We'll burn up a fertilizer by accident and water it again. So that quartz... There we go. You want to make sure that you're hearing that kind of crumpling rock sound. Gonna leave a few of those pieces. Also, I'm kind of out of energy here. We're gonna toss this stack of Trinity to the sales bin, just for the extra boost of money. Gonna get these furnaces going with one more wave of gold. And we're gonna hit the hay. So you'll see big money on the garlic. That's 150 space bucks per garlic. So that is a pretty nice little return on that. It also didn't appear to take very long. I think that we were either 3 or 4 days. So I think it's either equal to or less than carrot growth with a much higher return. And those gold bars we see are 100 space bucks per bar. A very quick cash turnaround for a very small amount of time invested. And you'll see that Trinity is nearly useless for selling. 700 credits back on 28 is not a very good return, considering the energy it took to mine them. Looks like our red peppers are ready for return. You'll see that the crop remains. We're getting multiple harvest. Definitely the most efficient plant in the game at this time. Get these planted as soon as you can. Our squash appears to be ready as well. We're getting 2 each, and it is also harvestable. Pick up our 3rd furnace. Once again, our energy bar doesn't appear to be replenished, but the moment we go to use it, it has been replenished, not to worry. I'm going to sell the squash and the red peppers, so 30, and we're not even at maximum harvest or return yet, is going to be a nice chunk of change. Once again, I don't want to have my my fertilizer. I'm actually going to go into my ship, go into my storage, and drop off the fertilizer. I don't want to even have it in my inventory. I want to move it to the lander storage so that it's not used by accident. Get these going again. Get these watering. We have another 20 to plant so that we're really at full swing here for money making. It's almost entirely pure profit at this point for farming, as the red peppers are not going to ever disappear, and they'll always keep producing, at least at this time, in Alpha 0.2. I will have to report back on whether the seasonal change affects crops just yet. I don't believe it does. So even when we move from spring into summer, the red peppers are going to continue to produce. So assuming I never shut this game off, I have the potential for infinite space bucks at this point. So remember, we do not want to go back into our ship midday. All right, we'll throw our 3rd furnace down. Oh, I do not like the aesthetic of that. Oh well. Get this one pumping iron now. So I'm not going to be selling any of my ingots anymore now that my farm is at full red chili pepper swing. We have 80% of our energy left. Let's do some more mining. So that just about wraps it up for this video. Within the first week, you can basically have infinite space bucks if you follow the process of prioritizing planting an entire farm of red chili peppers and squash if you want some variety. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful for those that do want to experience Alpha Point 2. Please do refer to the description in the video for how to join One Lonely Outpost's Discord to gain access to the Google Drive link for Alpha Point 2. And maybe we'll see you out there in space. This has been Mitch the Preacher, preaching the gospel of gaming. And remember, if you're not having fun, what's the point? If you appreciate this video, if you're interested in more One Lonely Outpost content, please do subscribe for future content. Click that bell to be notified when I post future videos. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care.